Vaccines, by definition, are substances used to stimulate and enhance immunity within a person or to produce antibodies with the same goal. Most vaccines are administered by healthcare professionals as injections are given at different ages of a child's life. For example, some vaccines are given to newborn children, such as hepatitis B. Some vaccines, such as Gardasil, are given to children ages 9 to 13 or older, depending on the parent's opinion. Not only have immunizations been innovational tools for modern medicine, but they have also been a controversial topic for many years for both moral and medical reasons. Safe vaccines such as polio, MMR, and hepatitis B need to be mandated in school-age children in order to boost public health and protect those who cannot be vaccinated.
Changed health. Uh, uh, our country, I think, really has the highest public health, along with the European countries, in the world because of vaccinations.
Creating mandates so that everyone who can be vaccinated is key to improving public health. Although some dubious arguments regarding vaccines state that receiving vaccinations can be dangerous, some believe that the benefits can greatly outweigh the risks. John Lantos, Mary Ann Jackson, and Christopher J. Harrison argue in the article Why We Should Eliminate Personal Belief Exemptions to Vaccine Mandates. Vaccines are among the most successful and most cost-effective medical technologies ever developed. However, the more complicated the medical technology becomes, the more controversial it becomes. Not only is mandating vaccines immensely important for you and your neighbor's health, but vaccines also have the ability to prevent birth defects and illnesses caused by diseases during pregnancy. The head of health services agrees and comments.
I think another piece of it, I worked in the NICU for many years, so this is the neonatal intensive, and some of these vaccines before they were mandated, you would see mothers who were pregnant who were exposed, and the baby, as a result, the birth defects that were a result of that. So that's I guess that's another reason why I feel very strongly about if I can prevent someone from actually getting someone they had really no choice, right? They were exposed because they were in utero.
Some of the sacrificial arguments against the mandating of vaccines in America are religious reasons, mostly that religious rights are being infringed. Another argument is that mandating vaccines in U.S. citizens is a general disruption of rights outlined by the U.S. Constitution. Orenstein and Yang dispute from beginning to end, the importance of evidence-based policy making in vaccination mandates about a Supreme Court case that was held in 1905 named Jacobson v. Massachusetts. In this case, it was concluded that the state has the authority to require vaccines to be administered, given they are administered with the intention of protection and safety of society. Across the country, school-age children must receive mandated vaccines before entering the classroom. Vaccines are considered weak mandates, meaning they are not necessarily enforced by the law, but certain states require mandated vaccines in order to enter the next grade level. Skeptics believe that by rejecting vaccines, not only are people risking their health, but altering certain aspects of life affecting the rest of society. Take teachers, for instance, whose optimal goal is to educate children in a friendly, academic environment. If children enter a classroom unvaccinated, it is possible that they are affecting their peers and their ability to learn. On the contrary, if teachers are exposed to unvaccinated children, they have a higher chance of catching diseases affecting their ability to teach their students. Dr. Juliet Relihan, head of the Early Childhood Education Program at Salve Regina University, argues,
Have you ever seen a child with polio? Have you ever seen a child with really bad case of the measles? If someone opts out and then their child gets it, I'd be angry at the parent, for one thing, because there's no research anywhere that shows that the vaccine can have a detrimental effect on the child. So
it is absolutely essential for a child to be vaccinated before entering the classroom because not only does it help boost their immunity to fend off diseases, but they are increasing their chances of living a healthy and long-lasting life. Recognized in How Schools Are Dealing with Anti-Vaccine Parents, a measles outbreak occurred over a year ago at a private Montessori school called the Children's House, serving infants in the 8th grade in Traverse City, Michigan. Between 2008 to 2014, children who attended the school had parents who denied them from receiving mandated vaccines, which jumped from 6 to 11%. Within those 5 years, 23% of the students at Children's Hospital was unvaccinated. Ultimately, the immunity of the school lowered, causing the measles to break out and affect double the amount of students, affecting the health of the school. After this chaotic outbreak, to ensure the safety of children and teachers in the classroom, California passed the California SB 277 mandated vaccination every child, every vaccine law, stating that school-aged children not up to date on every mandated vaccine will be required to homeschool without options for classroom learning. This law, which goes into effect on July 1, 2016, eliminates parents' rights to excuse their children out of vaccinations and will be forced to give their children more than 40 doses of 10 federally recommended vaccines. If children are not mandated with vaccines, they won't be able to attend school, slowing down their level of learning and social interactions amongst others. School is not only a place for academic learning, but a place to learn social skills in an environment filled with other individuals. As for the teachers, they're in the classroom to help children meet required standards of learning in order for them to proceed on.
To take a child so that they would live in isolation for the first 6 years of their life would be a really, really strong social limitation.
Herd immunity, a concept forced into the lives of parents all across the country. A concept so dangerous that it can defile thousands of children every year. The definition of herd immunity is as follows. A form of indirect protection from infectious diseases that occurs when a large percentage of a population has become immune to an infection, thereby providing a measure of protection for individuals who are not immune. The government broadens the idea of community, making it able to spread thousands of miles. Anthony Solosi of the University of Pennsylvania Medicine declares that actual communities are far smaller in comparison. The Washington Post reported 17 deaths in a group of disappointingly low vaccination rates. The result? A savage measles outbreak. Dr. Colosi, a philosophy professor at Salve Regina University, comments that...
And yeah, you have to weigh these things. But if it's the cases that are very clear, like measles and mumps and that, then I think the benefit for society is better.
Religious and philosophical grief is the number one reason why parents make the costly decision not to vaccinate. The core premise behind allowing religious and philosophical exemptions has been that communities can still achieve herd immunity even if exemptions are granted.
I think there can be cases when the government could force a vaccination over a religious belief, but they would be minimal, very clear cases.
47 out of 50 states have exempted those whose religious or philosophical beliefs forbid exemption. 18 states also have made the reprehensible decision to exempt individuals who apparently claim to possess other objections to vaccines. Continuing recognition of these exemptions may not be sustainable in the long run. Those with genuine religious objections to vaccinations do not represent the entirety of the threat to society. One recent study has shown a significant relationship between religious exemption rates and the level of government scrutiny used to get the exemption. It came down to this: simple exemption process, high exemption rates; complex exemption process, low exemption rates. Vaccinations, government, herd immunity, epidemics, mandates. All words that appear in this hectic fight for vaccinations. Americans all over the country are dealing with the grief of whether to vaccinate or not, and seek out answers from those who came before them. Doctors, philosophers, political liberalists, and teachers from all walks of life contribute their ideas and opinions to the conversation. Where does the argument end? The responsibilities lay in the community. The ability to unite these communities under one common interest is where we reach complete safety for our newborns, toddlers, students, and adolescents from their death sentences. Doctors feeling the grief of failing their patients, teachers walking into a classroom with an empty desk, and parents witnessing desolate bedrooms because the child next to their own was not vaccinated. It takes more than just one voice, one diagnosis, and one article to make the change. It takes an entire world. Although we have rights to choose our vaccines, do we have the right to ruin herd immunity, to change the public health for the worse, or to endanger those who are immunocompromised? You make the decision.